Most people think getting laid off is one bad day, but it's not. It's 72 hours of critical decisions that will either save you thousands of dollars or could cost you everything. I'm 3 months or so into my second layoff in 3 years, and here's what I learned. The first 72 hours, they determine the next 6 months. October 15th, 2025, that meeting. Your position is being eliminated. Well, I had a choice. I could panic like I did the first time, or I could actually have a plan. My first layoff, $14,000 in mistakes. $4,400 burned in this first 6 hours alone. Another $9,000 from a single bad decision in the first 3 months. This second layoff, okay, so I had a playbook. Same situation, but so far a completely different outcome. The difference wasn't money or connections. It was knowing exactly what to do in those first 72 hours. But before we start the clock, I just need to know where you are right now. So if you'll just simply type a 1, if you were just laid off this week or last week. Or type 2 if you're employed but preparing in case it happens. Drop your number in the comments. Let's see who needs this playbook right now. Okay, so those first 6 hours after my first layoff, complete disaster. I panicked. I felt like I needed to be productive. So it was LinkedIn Premium, it was resume services, it was the outplacement services, it was online courses, real estate licensing the first time. I bought productivity software. I spent $4,400 in panic purchases in 6 hours. It felt like progress, but it was really just, let's say, anxiety with a credit card. Classic mistake when you're emotionally compromised. So here's what I should have done instead. And this is critical if you just got laid off. In those first 6 hours, you need to do 3 things. 1, you need to document everything. Paperwork will be your friend. Number 2, you need to calculate your exact runway. We've provided the Runway calculator for you to do that. And 3, you need to protect your severance if you're going to get one. So let me break down each one. First, email your HR contact immediately. Not a simple request. A comprehensive documentation email that covers everything. Because here's what people miss in the first email to HR. And it usually costs them thousands. You need everything in writing. So a complete severance breakdown. This should be talking about your accrued PTO payout, depending on your role. This could be $5,000 to $15,000 that you're owed. The next thing I'd probably go after is the prorated bonus eligibility. And yeah, this is negotiable. What you may not know is that if you've worked for a portion of the bonus time, then you're probably owed a prorated portion of your bonus based on your performance. Next, stock option exercise windows. You typically have 90 days before they expire forever. Next should be your COBRA enrollment deadlines and outstanding expense reimbursements. I'm putting the complete 12-item checklist on the screen right now. Screenshot it or grab the comprehensive version with the actual email templates that I'm going to put in the Phoenix Rising community. That version has industry-specific additions and negotiation scripts for when HR pushes back. You need to send this email within the first 6 hours, before they schedule the severance review meeting, if you can. Because once you're in that meeting, they're controlling the agenda. And this puts you in control from the start. The second thing you need to do immediately is calculate your exact runway. Not a guess, your actual numbers. I keep saying this because it's that important. Take your total liquid savings, divide it by your monthly burn rate. That'll give you a rough runway in months. For me, just $25,000 in savings divided by $6,000 a month burn rate gave me about 4.2 months. And that's the number that keeps you up at night. But here's what I learned. If I cut my burn rate, I can extend my runway. And every $1,000 I cut per month adds almost 2 months of buffer. So go line by line through your bank statements for the last 3 months. Identify the big three: housing, transportation, and food. And start thinking about, can you renegotiate your car loan? Pause your non-essential subscriptions. Even a few $100s a month can give you weeks of extra runway. This is the difference between an anxious job hunt and a strategic one. So use the layoff survival calculator we built. The link will be in the description. It'll show you exactly where you stand and what happens if you optimize. And here's the thing that nobody tells you. You also need to start building side income. Not in 3 months, not when you feel ready, like I did. Now, in the first 24 hours. Now, look, in my video about self-employment, I told you not to make big decisions in anger. That still holds. Don't quit corporate forever because you're pissed off. But starting small income experiments, now that's a different story. I'm talking about 2 to 3 hours this week testing one thing. Make a consulting call. Investigate a freelance gig. Do a proof of concept. Because this isn't going to be your new identity necessarily, but it's insurance. You're not burning bridges, you're building options. Because here's the problem. Side income experiments, they take 90 days or so minimum to really show results. I didn't have 90 days. I had pressure, desperation, and zero leverage. If I had started building even just a few hours a week while I was still employed, well, by the time I got laid off, I'd have had something generating revenue. You can start with low friction tasks. Offer consultation calls in your area of expertise. Do a few hours of freelance writing. Sell a digital asset you've already created. You're just looking for proof of concept and immediate mental momentum. The mistake is waiting until after a layoff to start. So, hours 24 to 48, this is when reality sets in. The panic subsides. The math starts becoming very clear. And for me, the math said I had to move. Dallas was $5,500 a month just for housing. Alabama, $2,500 a month. That's a $3,000 a month difference. Now, I delayed that decision for 3 months. It cost me $9,000. So don't make my mistake. If the math says you need to move, figure it out and move as quickly as possible. Even if it's across town, even if it's into an apartment, what have you. Geographic arbitrage isn't sexy. It's not fun. It's not exciting. For me, it sucked. But it works. And it buys you time. Time to find the right role, not just any role. This is also when you make the call on what to cut first. I mean, look at your runway calculation. What are your budget killers? For me, it was housing, it was health insurance, and food. I had to get aggressive. So I cut my Dallas burn rate from $6,000 a month down to what it is now in Alabama, about $3,400 a month. That extended my runway from 5 months to over 9 months. And that's not survival. That's now strategic patience. So hours 48 to 72. This is your planning window. You've documented everything. You've calculated your runway. You made the hard geographic call maybe. Now, plan your next 90 days. Not your next job, just your next 90 days. What experiments will you run? What skills will you build? What relationships will you deepen and explore? Because the traditional corporate employment model has changed. We can't rely on one employer anymore. We need multiple income streams. We need geographic flexibility, financial resilience. So here's the framework. Hour 0 to 6, document everything. Send that comprehensive HR email and protect your severance. Hour 6 to 24, calculate your exact runway. Start your first side income experiment if you didn't while you were employed, like me. Hour 24 to 48, make the hard decisions about geographic arbitrage. Run the math. If you need to move, start planning now. That takes time. And hours 48 to 72, plan your resilient future. Not just your next job, but your career insurance system. Because look, if you're going through this right now, you're not alone. 125 people have joined Phoenix Rising. We're sharing strategies, resources, and real numbers. No toxic positivity, just people figuring this out together. I made $14,000 in mistakes the first time because I didn't have a plan. This time, I had this playbook. Same situation, different outcome. The difference is these first 72 hours. A layoff isn't the end, it's a decision point. You can panic and burn your runway in days, or you can execute a plan and buy yourself months. The corporate world told us job security was real, but it's not. Financial resilience, multiple income streams, geographic flexibility, now that's real. And that's what we're trying to build in Phoenix Rising. That's what I'm documenting every week on this channel. Not the LinkedIn version, the real version. All of it. Links are in the description. Phoenix Rising is free. The calculator is free. Subscribe if you want more. And join the Discord community. Your layoff doesn't define you, but how you respond in these first 72 hours does. And I'll see you in the next one.